Here comes the sun. Even though 2025 presented many troubling challenges for science, there was a bright spot. It was the first year in which more power was generated worldwide from renewable energy, including wind and solar, than from coal. The situation came very close to peak carbon, the point at which fossil fuel emissions peaked for the world, and then started to decline. That milestone may now be only a few years away. These encouraging changes were mainly a result of the greater availability of solar and wind energy technology and cheaper lithium batteries to major technological bets on AI, including a recently announced drive to accelerate advances in science. All of these efforts will require investing in new energy sources. But U.S. guidance for powering AI emphasizes fossil fuels and does not explicitly name renewables. China will have abundant amounts of renewable energy for data centers, with fossil fuels as a backup. Meanwhile, the U.S. marches boldly backward toward the past. Despite the regressive energy policy adopted by the Trump administration, the world's overall progress on renewable energy is already run electric cars and store solar energy. Because of these achievements, science has selected Rise of the Renewables as its breakthrough of the year. Many of the technologies that have led to this remarkable rise were developed in the United States, but advances in perfecting and manufacturing them have taken place in China. China is reaping the benefits economically, supplying 80% of the world's solar cells, 70% of its wind turbines, and 70% of its lithium batteries. Outside the U.S., the demand for these products is enormous. As New York, the U.S. is now squandering an opportunity to reap the benefits of its own technology, having encouraging environmental consequences. The use of fossil fuels continues to grow, but it does so at a slower rate than that for renewables. Although the goal of limiting global warming to an increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius is probably no longer attainable, the imminent decline in the use of fossil fuels suggests that the world's biggest coal user, China, is just on the cusp of a decrease in consumption, as data scientist Hannah Ritchie told Science. This puts a drop in global fossil fuel use within reach. These advances are ultimately, to the Times reporter David Gels observed recently, Chinese solar panels are literally the cheapest form of energy we have ever had on Earth. While the rest of the world is buying China's cheap renewable technology, the United States is doubling down on fossil fuels. On Inauguration Day, President Trump signed an executive order to exploit U.S. natural resources and encourage energy exploration and production on federal lands and waters. At the same time, incentives for manufacturing and purchasing electric vehicles were withdrawn in favor of cars that burn gasoline. Even setting aside the environmental consequences of these moves, walking away from a business opportunity to sell renewable technology to the rest of the world was a poor decision. China's revenue from exporting renewable technology is nearly as high as what the U.S. makes now by exporting fossil fuels. But the income from selling renewables is increasing much faster because of high global demand. As the use of artificial intelligence grows, these credit the scientists who develop technologies that are enabling this energy transition. The silicon solar cells in use today can trace their descent to those originally invented at Bell Labs in 1954. Likewise, rechargeable lithium battery technology originated in the U.S. at Exxon and also in Japan and the United Kingdom. The current progress stands on the shoulders of the pioneers responsible for this foundational research. But the U.S. is now squandering an opportunity to reap the benefits of its own technology, ceding the income and the geopolitical power to a nation that repeatedly puts technological prowess above politics. Every year, science cites some breakdowns to go along with the breakthrough. The 2025 Breakthrough of the Year is accompanied by a breakdown for the United States in failing to benefit from its own innovations. The environmental and societal benefits of the breakthrough accrue to all countries, but the economic benefits are enjoyed by China, which unambiguously leads the world in prospering from improvements in technology.